My name is John Bosco Uche. I am the president of Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists, NAPE, and I currently work for Renaissance as Geosolutions Manager and Chief Geophysicist. As the president of Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists, NAPE, I see this as an extraordinary moment of pride, reflection and responsibility. And for me, I think it's a rare privilege to be the president and the leader of this great association at this moment where we are going to be celebrating the legacy and excellence we've developed in the last 50 years, and also looking into the future on how to position the energy landscape of this country and Africa at large. It's also a moment for me to reflect on the founders of this association who came together in 1975 to build an association of petroleum geoscientists and related discipline in the petroleum and oil and gas industry. Today, we are proud to have over 15,000 members and over 190 corporate members. So reflecting on how this started in 1975 to where we are today, it's a moment of pride. And for our members, I think you cannot be in any other association than NAPE if you are practicing and working in the oil and gas industry in Nigeria and Africa. Looking at the theme for NAPE at 50, which is pioneering the future of energy industry in Africa, I think it couldn't be any better than this moment. Especially now we're talking about energy transition, we're talking about oil and gas growth, right? If you look at Nigeria, for example, we've got over 200 TCF of proved gas reserves, and we still have about 600 TCF yet to be discovered. It is we, the explorers, we members of NAPE, that are going to be discovering this gas volume. And this gas volume is going to be a key enabler in the journey through the energy transition, taking us into the future, helping us to solve the energy poverty in Africa, where over 600 million population do not have access to electricity. Here in Nigeria, over 45% to 50%, about 90 million population do not have access to electricity. To fix this in terms of powering and providing the electricity, you need the gas. Of course, you need the renewable, the solar as well. But for the gas element, it is us in NAPE that is going to discover this. So I think the theme is apt at this moment of energy transition, but also is a point to celebrate our excellence in the last 50 years. Because if you look at for every single oil and gas we are producing or have discovered in this country, it was actually found by an explorer sometime in the past. So what it means is that in the last 50 years, most of the discoveries we have in this country, actually, we have discovered by our members in NAPE. And for me, it's a pride moment, and the theme is really apt to celebrate that legacy which we have established, but also looking into the future of energy security, solving the growing demand for energy. It is us NAPE that's going to fix it by discovering more gas, both in the mature basin of the Niger Delta, but also in the frontier basin. You will never have two NAPE at 50s, right? So this year, 2025, you can only have one NAPE at 50. And therefore, it's going to be celebrated big time. It's going to be an industry event. It's going to pull key stakeholders from the government, from the energy industry, oil and gas, from the academia. Active members, students are going to be fully participating at this epoch-making celebration that we're going to be having on the 14th of August, 2025. Now, we have structured the program in such a way that we will have a strategic session in the morning of that 14th August to really look into the legacy that we have established in this country as NAPE. Look at what we've done, largely working with the international oil companies to discover, oil and gas, right, in the last 50 years, even before then. We'll look into that legacy, but also, most importantly, looking at how to define a new legacy and develop a framework for the next 50 years, looking into the future. And that comes up with a lot of, it's going to come up with a lot of innovation now. We're talking about digital transformation. We're talking about artificial intelligence, we're talking about advanced imaging and seismic, for example, and different innovative ways of finding this oil and gas. And these are going to be some of the key discussions that are going to be happening at the strategic session in the morning. NUPRC leadership is going to be quite there. NNPCL leadership is going to be quite there. 3 CEOs and MDs of top Nigerian companies have already accepted to be part of this strategic discussion, and the other IOCs, MDs, we're also engaging to also get involved as well. So I think it's a moment in the morning to set the tone on how the next 50 years is going to look like. But also beyond that discussion, same day on the 14th of August, in the evening, we're going to be having a gala night where we will recognize some of our members, some of the companies that have played a significant role in the oil and gas industry in this company. It's a moment to really celebrate the NAPE at 50 big time, and you cannot afford to miss this. I think this is an area NAPE has been doing excellently quite well. We've done so in the past, continue to do so now, and will continue to do into the future. We have been partnering with the government in terms of advocacy, bringing our ideas and putting it on the table on how to advance the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. It's been doing quite well. Again, under my leadership this year, as you would have seen, we've had a series of stakeholder engagement with the senior government stakeholders, starting with the senior advisor or special advisor to the president on energy, lots of engagement with NUPRC leadership, both Abuja and Warri, with NNPC, and lots of other sister associations like NMGS, SPE, name them. Not just locally, but also internationally as well, right? This year we've had serious and big time conversations and collaboration with AAPG, EAGE, and these are all geared towards coming together to fine-tune our idea on how to continue to improve, to continue to find oil and gas. Remember, why we're doing this is that we need to solve the energy needs of the world. And therefore, to solve that problem, collaboration is key. And that's basically what we've been doing, and I can assure you we'll continue to do so. Well, NAPE has actually achieved quite a lot in terms of policy formulations in this country. Many of our members were involved through the process of PIB before it became a PIA, which is a law that has actually enabled a lot of growth in the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. We have also been, a key one I will mention is actually the marginal field that we celebrate today. A couple of 2 years or 3 years ago, we had a couple of marginal fields, over 50 of them awarded. In 2002, 2003, we had about 24 marginal fields also awarded, and some of them are doing quite well. It interests you to know that this actually got kicked off from the communique, from discussions that came out from NAPE's conference and NAPE's discussion, and making that proposal to the federal government that it is something to do. And the federal government took it, and today you could see the product of what that marginal field is doing, not just in increasing our reserve, but also in building the local capacity to be able to do big things, which is really happening. So I think it's an area I can pride ourselves that we have done quite well in terms of advocacy. In terms of the bridging the gap between the industry and academia, we've also excellently done quite well, right? We've done a lot of, program to help to develop our lecturers in the field of geosciences, through donation of computers, what we call the tech equip, which we've been doing quite well this year already. We've donated about 2 computers to 2 different Nigerian universities, for example. We've been doing what we call pair to teach, where we bring in some industry professionals that are members, pairing them with some Nigerian universities to help to teach and lecture the younger students as a way of developing and working on human capital development. We're doing all kinds of work with the university. In particular, we're having a lot of grants. For example, we have one going on right now for research, where we're going to be releasing some funding to researchers to continue to do more in terms of R&D. So we're doing a lot of stuff, providing the platform for Nigerian university lecturers and students to come together with the industry to collaborate on how we can jointly improve and continue to grow the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. So I think we've done quite a lot around advocacy, around closing and bridging the gap between the industry and academia, but also development of our members professionally. We've done that quite a lot because we provide the platform through conferences, through trainings, and all means to ensure that our members are ready and well equipped, because remember, our ideas find oil and gas. For me, I think NAPE is well positioned to lead the industry and set the right framework that we will use as oil and gas industry to run the industry in the next 50 years and beyond. We are at the point of energy transition. We are at a critical moment where energy security is at the center of our discussions, and we have to and must provide the energy needs of the world. And to fix this challenge, not just for Nigeria and Africa, but the world at large, NAPE as a body is well positioned to drive this ambitious drive of discovering more oil and gas in a sustainable manner. Because we also believe in sustainability. But most importantly, gas as a transition fuel will help us to power the industry, will help us to power the homes, and help us even with lots of industrial revolution that we anticipate to do in the coming years to come. And the key enabler is to discover the right products to enable this, and that is gas. And that's why we are advocating for intentional gas exploration in the mature Niger Delta Basin, but also looking and exploring for more gas activities and development in the frontier basins, covering the Anambra Basin, the Benue Trough, the Chad Basins, the Dahomey Basins. It is our members that have the skills that is required to really go and explore and discover this gas to be able to enable the future that we anticipate. And therefore, I see us playing a significant role. But again, we have to do it differently because the technology is emerging and moving, right? The advancement in seismic imaging and processing will have to be at the forefront. The artificial intelligence way of using and doing our reservoir characterizations, we will have to be at the forefront of driving these innovations. And therefore, digital transformation will remain at the core of that future. And we in NAPE have to play and key into that. So I see a future that we in NAPE, our members and our affiliates, have to boldly come together to collaborate to be able to define that framework that will deliver the future and solve the energy needs of the world. So I believe we can do it because we have all the skills, we have the will, and all we need is to go after it. And I think we can.